Hello, guys, and welcome to Viva Barca. Welcome to another interesting episode where we are going to be discussing on the very latest stories. We start with Pedri Gonzalez as the Barca midfield mainstay will not play again this season due to injury. We are going to be discussing on that as we progress. Secondly, talking about this other report claiming that Barcelona's viability plan sent to two independent specialists for review, according to Gerard Romero. So, guys, as we get right into the stories in much detail, please do ensure to subscribe if you haven't. If you're just coming across the channel for the very first time, you are very welcome. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. Pedri was not part of the Barca squad when in their recent game against Real Sociedad at the weekend. The youngster was suffering from discomfort and was not fit enough to feature in the last game when Barca lost 2-1. A recent report from Dario Sport has offered an update on Pedri's fitness, suggesting that the young star might not play again during the remainder of the season. Pedri is not nursing a serious injury per se, but Barca are not willing to take any risk and are set to rest him in the final few matches of the season. The report confirms he will be unavailable in the upcoming game against Real Valladolid this midweek. The player himself is aware of the situation, though he does want to play for Barcelona in the final match day against Celta Vigo. He also wants to play against Mallorca at the Camp Nou, which is Barca's last home game, as the team will shift to the Montjuic Stadium next season in light of the Espai Barca project. With that in mind, Pedri is set to miss out on the upcoming games against Valladolid and Celta de Vigo. There is a chance he could play a few minutes against Mallorca in between, though. With Barcelona not having much to play for, Xavi will look to provide opportunities to some of the lesser used players such as Pablo Torre, Lamine Yamal, and Ferran Torres, among others. It will give Xavi the opportunity to make a proper assessment ahead of a crucial team building session in the summer. Everything suggests Pedri's next matches could come in with Spanish national team in the UEFA Nations League in June. The youngster has said he is looking forward to looking with Luis de la Fuente in a recent interview. Pedri is still a very young player, and it saddens me a lot that most often than not this season, even from last season, injury problems have started, and it is not a good sign. This is a guy who came in his first season, played more than 70 matches in all competitions, and many were saying, but this guy's future, how is it gonna be like at just 17 years old? He plays more than 60 something matches in club football a season, and of course, I don't know if it is the aftermath of that causing everything. Because last season, Pedri started suffering these injury problems and it have crossed to next this season. Like, what's happening? Because my fear is Pedri should not be a kind of player where every season there's a guaranteed injury problem. Like, it's going to be very, very painful. This guy has a lot of talent. When he's not in our midfield, we see his presence missing. His impact isn't there. When Pedri is in the field, you feel his impact. The split passes, the creativity in the middle of the park, and it's gonna affect us a lot. These injury ordeals that have started for Pedri, he's still very young, and in such a career, very young at his age, shouldn't be having injuries this often. Of course, injuries will happen for every football player, but come on, at this young age, it shouldn't be so rampant. And I think Javi should know how to use him. The medical staff should do their work. I just hope so, to ensure that they reduce the risk so minimal for Pedri. Because now he can't finish the season. Even though reports are saying yes, the injury is not the biggest of injuries, but Barca they just want to keep precaution. They just want to ensure that they can, since there's no more objective of the season. We've already won La Liga. Xavi does not want to play him because it might risk him further. So I think Pedri should really assess himself because honestly, his injury problems are too much. We can look at players like Pablo, you know, Gavi. Gavi is more rough and even bear more risk than Pedri, but He's strong. He's strong. I think Javi should know how to manage the time of these young stars. I think they should not be overburdened in this very young age. Those players should not be playing all the games, like how we saw Ronald Koeman putting Pedri all the time back in the 2020-21 season. And we saw, I think that there's a little bit of consequence because of that. Pedri have never really been himself. Like injury problems last season, more than twice. This season, about 3 or 4 times Pedri will go out injured, and it's something that the club should be very, very cautious about. He's still very young to start carrying such injuries, and we know that his presence in the field is very important for us, very important in our gameplay, and yeah, which means we likely will not see Pedri again as the season draws to a close, as manager Javi and the medical staff have decided that it is better for the club to minimize the risk and keep Pedri till the the pre-season when he can start playing, even though the injury is not the worst, but it's just to ensure that there isn't a risk. Playing him now might cause more damage in the future. Then on to the final story of discussion. As Barca continue to wait on La Liga's response over their viability plan, journalist Gerard Romero has affirmed that the plan has been sent to two independent specialists for a word-by-word review to avoid any possible interpretation that might benefit other clubs in the future. Barcelona have been waiting on La Liga's response for quite a long time, and despite the initial reports which claim the league authorities will approve the plan earlier this week, it has not. Romero claims that the potential green light will be received in next week's time. It is no secret that Barcelona are planning a huge overhaul in the summer. A lot of players will be offloaded in order to comply with the financial fair play rule. As reported before, a whopping 12 players will be on the market, which includes Sergio Dest, Clement Lenglet, Samuel Umtiti, Frank Kessie, Ferran Torres, S. Abde, and Ansu Fati, among others. In turn, Barcelona will make an effort to bring Messi back to Spotify Camp Nou. Now, despite the delay in the approval of the plan, the operation to resign Messi is still on, and the club have no intention to back off. It must be brought to light that delay from league's front is only restricting Barcelona from taking early decisions. Now reports have it that the administration will give the green light to the operation, but without official consent, the club or the team cannot really function in the market. Now Barca have indeed proposed salary cuts and incomes from player sales in the order to sign Messi. They will ask for a written document from the league that would guarantee its registration. This document will be presented to the player to affirm that the team can, in fact, register him for the next season. So, guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.